right? So one of the things I want to do is, right, so one of the greatest things that investors can do in order to, one of the plays in the playbook, for great investors is doing what? I'm about to tell y'all. Understanding the economy. Check me out. One of the greatest things an investor can do is understand the economy. So check this out. So you like, Trap, like, I ain't go to economics, fam. Like, neither did I. But I want you to ask yourself this, right? For a quarterback to be a great quarterback, what is the one thing he has to do well? The one thing that a quarterback has to do and be able to do to be a great quarterback is what? Understand the defense. A quarterback has to be able to understand the defense. Because when a quarterback understands the defense, he can now call the proper play on offense. Let that sink in. Let that sink in. In order for us to be great investors, we have to understand what? The economy. The reason why we got to be understanding economy is because the economy is the defense. So when we understand the economy and the defense that's presented in front of us, we can call an audible. We can understand how to make different plays no matter the economic play that's being played. You with me right now? Let me know if y'all with me right now. Right? In order for us to be a great quarterback of our team, because the family is the team. The family and what we representing is the team. We at some point say, all right, yo, I'm about to be the quarterback. I'm about to put the plays together. Or I'm going to be the head coach, right? Because in order for a head coach, he got to be able to understand the defense. Same rules apply. So when economy throws something to us, we got to say, oh, this was going on, audible, right? Audible. So a successful investor has to be able to do what, family? Understand the economy. How do we do that? It's not hard. We're going to break down a few things. These indicators, the economy has what's called economic indicators, right? So these economic indicators signify something that's about to happen, right? These economic indicators signify something that's about to happen. So it's like we see this indicator, we call it audible, we put the tight end over here, we put the wide receiver, you go out longer, you bring a running back to the back, you tell them, look, block the blind side. Why? Because we see what's going on. Y'all with me right now? Y'all with me right now? All right, cool. So a while back, and I ain't really going to go over this one too much, but we talked about the gross domestic product. We talked about that. I don't want to dig too deep into that. We talked about it already. We talked about it before. If you haven't checked it out, go check out the old clip. It is on my page somewhere. It says Trapper breaks down the GDP. But that's the main economic indicator. Right, that's the main economic indicator. So we talked about the GDP. I don't know how much time they're gonna give me, so I don't really get too deep into that. But the number 2 economic indicator that they all pay attention to is the jobs claims. The jobs growth or the jobs indicator is one of the second most important indicator that they're gonna pay attention to. Right? So with the job growth, it's gonna talk about employment. It's going to talk about the length of work hours worked. It's going to talk about unemployment, and it's going to talk about hourly wages. And it comes on every month. So when you hear the jobs report for this month, this sets the tone for this entire month. Because what happens is when the jobs report is high, remember a while back, I told y'all, yo, check this out. 43 million people are without jobs right now. So if 43 million people are without jobs right now, I can promise you the market is going to be down when that report come out. Why? Because if people aren't working, then people can't spend money. And if people can't spend money, then products can't be sold. If products can't be sold, stock prices can't go up. Stock prices can't go up and down because no goods and services are being moved or money is not moving, right? And if money is not moving, again, investors can't get paid. Right? Because we making money as investors of businesses that can sell product. Point blank, period. Everybody with me right now? Let me know if we trapping. If y'all understanding what I'm saying, if I'm making sense, if y'all getting it, let me know. Right? Let me know. Let me get a little water right quick, you hear me, before we get on to this next thing. Appreciate that. Everybody trapping with me right now? Good. I appreciate y'all being here with me right now, man. Definitely appreciate y'all being in here with me right now. Right? So what we need to understand, do me a favor, y'all in here, man, take the paper plane, man. If you haven't did it already, just do me a favor. Send this out to 10 people right quick. Come back and comment you done. Let's get as many people as we can in here, right? Let's get as many people as we can in here because the knowledge is important. Right? The knowledge is important. Right? So let's talk about that for a minute. I want us to dig deeper into this jobs growth in these jobs reports because you're gonna hear this report every month. Every month they gotta keep track with this, right? Again, this is how investors call audibles. This is how they making different plays, right? So, and we're gonna get into some cycles of the economy as well. Excuse me, y'all. This is how they call audibles, right? So they say, oh, jobs report is up, jobs are up 10% from what it was last month. So, okay, boom. That means for them, that means there's a sign of growth. There's a sign of things coming back to normal. Because if people are working, then that means what happens is just real. Why? This is why it's important for us to switch from consumers to owners. Because what that means to them, if people are working, people are being consumers. And if people are being consumers, then we need to have our money parked in good assets or good companies that people are now being consumers to. If we know that people are being great consumers to these businesses, right? Then what we have to do is, hold on, y'all, let me get that person out here too. Cool, no problem. Good. So if we see that people are being good consumers to businesses that we are investing in, stock prices go up. Stock prices go up. Stock prices don't go up because, so now let me break this down too, because this is a big misconception that people don't understand. So stock prices move up and down based on how investors and institutions feel about a business, right? So let's say that. I want us to get into that. Right. So most people think, hey, because a lot of people is buying this, then the stock price is going to go up. That's not necessarily true. The reason why, because it can be a lot of reasons why the stock price isn't going up. Stock prices go up because of a few things. One, the number one reason is because investors feel that the business has a great management team. This is the number one reason why stock prices go up. Right. Because investors feel that the business itself has great management. Why is great management important? Because great management then says to investors, if we got a great management team, then the great management team can do a few things. They can market the product. They know how to manage debt. They can keep operational costs down low, right? These are important. They can keep operational costs down low, and they can learn how to expand the business without actually selling off assets or creating more debt for a business. Debt is crucial to businesses. Now, some businesses can leverage debt, other businesses can be over leveraged. So when the business becomes over leveraged, then what happens is now the business can put itself in some type of economic default. It can be smothered with debt. Anything that is over leveraged is never good. Anything over leveraged can do what? Tilt over. In the investing world, if a business is over leveraged and it tilts over, that leads to bankruptcy, chapter 11, chapter 11, chapter 7, so on and so forth. So investors are looking for great management in businesses because great management shows that a business can be fluid in product placement, market share, and low cost of operation, positioning itself to continuously succeed in the marketplace. Y'all with me right now? Let me know we trapping right now. 100%. hurts, for example. Let me give you another example or play of bad management, right? So this is what bad management did, right? Because great management understands that one of the things we have to do with the business, right? So let me say this. Let me say this. So on a lower level, when I speak of management, I'm not talking about going into a store and you see the manager telling me whatever. I'm talking about C-suites. C-suites represent CEO, CFO, COO. Those are the C-suites, right? Those are good management. That's where management comes in at. So on the lower level, when you go into a store and you say, let me speak to the manager, right? The manager's number one goal at that level, at the lower level, is the customer is always right. Right? We're going to talk about these different levels. So on a lower level, right? On a lower level, when you be like, I want to talk to a manager, the manager's goal is to defuse a situation and the customer is always right. On the next tier, the top tier, it's not so much as the customer is always right. For management on a top tier, it's how do I bring value to my shareholders? Shareholders are more important at the top level than consumers. But on TV, you will always hear them say, my team and my customers. It has to happen. Or consumers. It has to happen. They have to say that. But in the office, it's always, how do we bring more value to shareholders? David Shand, what's good, my guy? My brother, man. Right? I want us to understand that. And we got to see that. So this is how we play the game. So we need to look for businesses that consistently bring value to shareholders. Y'all with me right now? Y'all understanding what I'm saying? So when we looking at the C-suite, we asking how are they bringing value to shareholders? How are they giving shareholders return on invested capital? See, these are the things that are important when you're thinking about investors. So this is why stock prices go up and down, because investors, institutional investors, investors in stocks, they are simply saying this business has a great management team that can continuously put great product out there, bring value to shareholders. Therefore, I want my money in this business. How do they see that? Every time these businesses report their earnings and they hit or miss earnings, when they hit the earnings, stock price goes up. Why? Because investors are saying, yo, they beat earnings this quarter. That means what? The management team did a great job at putting products in place and marketing and branding and coming up with different ways to put that business out there. So that brought in more revenue, bottom line, top line, brought in more profit, bottom line, therefore beating earnings, therefore making more investors buy stock, therefore making the stock price go up. So it has, the business selling product is good, but more so how investors feel about the business overall over the long term. Y'all with me right now? We trapping, y'all with me, y'all good? Y'all understanding what I'm saying? Let me know. Like we gonna chop it up. You hear me? We gonna chop it up. Right? We gonna chop it. We running it, we getting to it, right? I told y'all I felt like running it tonight. Tomorrow in my Trappers Anonymous group, I think I'm gonna go over a few things. I'm gonna do a live class with them tomorrow night. I think I'm gonna do a live class with them tomorrow night. I want, because we ain't do nothing this weekend. So I think tomorrow night, I'm gonna post that in the group tomorrow that we gonna do a live class tomorrow. I haven't did a live class with them in a minute since Trappin Tuesday, so I definitely got to tap in with them on that idea, just because I like to talk to them and get them just in the business, man. So all right, I don't know yet if you're in the group. I don't know yet. this is hilarious. Why this hilarious, man? I don't understand why this hilarious. Maybe I missed something. I don't know. I ain't found nothing funny. I don't know. So one of the things too, now, so we talked about a few things, right? We talked about investor sentiment. We talked about the economic thread. We talked about a few things that's going on. We talked about that. We talked about that. We went into that, right? So now let's talk about somebody said, how do we get in the group? Or the link is in my bio. Just go to Trap Anonymous. Go to Trap Anonymous. For sure, I know the Trap is in here for sure. You heard me? I'm gonna definitely get in there with y'all tomorrow. We're gonna do something because they got a few big companies that's reporting them this week. So I definitely want to do that. And I gave y'all some homework last week, and I remember seeing what y'all put, so I got to go back in there and see. I had a lot going on with that. Shout out to the new members who in the Trappers Anonymous group, man. Shout out to y'all, family. You hear me? You hear me? So let's talk about another thing that we need to learn and that we need to get into as investors. We need to understand the cycles of the economy, right? So one of the things is understanding the economic indicators, which 1 and 2 for me is the GDP. The number 2 is the jobs report. The number 3 is housing. Trappers, we talked about housing already. I don't want to really go deep into that because I got some other stuff I want to talk about with you all that's on my brain, right? For sure. So one of the things I do want to talk about is understanding the cycles, understanding some of those business cycles and those economic cycles that go along. So the thing about these economic cycles, big bro, for sure, man. I already know, Pip. 100%. I like the innovation sector, King. I like that. It's the future for sure. So one of the things we got to understand too is outside of knowing and understanding those, we now have to start looking at what are the cycles. See, these are the things that make up good investors. And not so much as just about putting your money in the stock market. Like, we got to start being intentional about building wealth. We got to be real intentional about wealth building. Remember, the thread that's separating is one group, a section of people are being intentional about building wealth, while another group is trying to freestyle it, right? So we got to be real intentional about how we building wealth and what we doing, right? So another thing we got to look about is the cycles, right? These cycles are important for us. These cycles are really, really, really important for us, right? So let's understand, and they often follow a pattern, right? They often follow a pattern. So if you go into a deep recession, then you know the next cycle is an upturn. If you went down into a deep recession, then you know that we went into the next thing to come is probably an upturn, right? And so when we looking at an upturn, when we get into an upturn, means the economy is extracting. What we need to do now is from an upturn, that tells us this is a good time to invest in what's going on in the future, seeing what's ahead, right? New products, new acquisitions, new markets, new industries being created. Think about where we at right now. Where we at right now, right, is new markets are being created. There's a whole stay-at-home sector that's now created. Right? Work from home sector that's being created. This is what happens when the economy goes into recessions. Deep recessions, minor recessions. This is what happens when the economy goes into recession. So also we can look at what's called sector rotations. So sector rotations is when certain sectors of the market, right? Certain sections of the market do better than other sectors inside of different economic temperatures. Y'all with me right now? That sounded complicated, right? So let's just say this. The market is broken down to 11 sectors, right? The market is broken down to 11 sectors. Inside of those sectors are industries, right? So you have, let's say you think about the financial sector, right? When we think about the financial sector, that's one sector. But inside of the financial sector, you have different industries. You have insurance, you have banking, you have fintech, right? These are sectors. You got credit cards. These are industries inside of a sector, right? So sector rotation is when, depending on the cycle we're in, one sector can thrive better than another one. Y'all with me? It makes sense? It makes sense? Right. So what we need to understand is, I want y'all to think about this, right? So in a downturn or in a recession, technology and industrials tend to flourish. Listen to that again. Listen to that again. In a recession, most times, technology and industrials tend to perform well. Ask you this question. Over the last 3 months, what two sectors have performed the best? Technology and industrials. Currently, they need another 17 million acres of land to build 666. I think they said they wanted like 666 more warehouses they needed to be built because they needed more industrial, warehouses. Right? So we think in tech and industrial. Right? So this is the thing. Now, when we think about, let me get some water right quick, y'all. So he said it ain't 666, it's 665 or 667. Come on, fam. One or two? All right, fam. All right. So in a full-fledged recovery, so this is when the economy done recovered, what tends to do well is consumer staples. They tend to take off. You feel me? So hold up, Trap, what the hell is consumer staples? So consumer staples are essential things that you need every day: food, beverages, things like that. So companies like Procter & Gamble, things like that, right? So this is the thing. So you like, Trap, they kind of doing good right now. So they are, because they are essential. But here's what happens when we get in the full-fledged recovery, right? What happens when we get in a full-fledged recovery is this. Full-fledged recovery means what? Excuse me, y'all. People are working again. People are spending money again. If people spending money, if people working again, right? If people spending money again, then they consume more. Right? Pepsi, Coke, right? Pepsi, Coke. People spend more. So what happens? This is why consumer staples tend to thrive more when we in the full-fledged recovery, because people buy more what they was. I'm gonna just buy more stuff. I'm gonna just consume. Why? Because people are taught to be consumers. This is why we started off in the beginning saying we have to switch from consumerism to ownership, because if we can identify certain things, we can call audibles. Yo, we in a recession right now. Boom. Let me go tech heavy. Let me go industrials, right? Because this was needed, right? This was the players, right? Let me maybe go utilities, In an uptrend, let me go utilities, right? These are strong, but we're in a recovery. Boom, we see the recovery happen. We shifting. Boom. When we see the shift coming, let's get some consumer staples. Let's get some Procter & Gamble. Let's get some Pepsi, some Coke. Why? Because people going to start consuming again. Exactly. Frivolous retail purchasing. So we are able to make these plays when liquor stocks too, 100%. Liquor stocks, tobacco stocks, right? We can make these plays because we have identified the cycle. We've identified the economic indicator. Y'all with me right now? Y'all with me? We trapping?